While we're on the topic of university speeches, you probably saw during the week that pro-Palestinian protesters at Duke University in the US caused a scene when they staged a walkout over Jerry Seinfeld's support of Israel. And it's a shame, really, because they missed out on some great advice.
Privilege today seems to be the worst thing you can have. I would like to take a moment to defend it. I say, use your privilege. I grew up a Jewish boy from New York. That is a privilege if you want to be a comedian. You went to Duke. That is an unbelievable privilege. My point is we're embarrassed about things we should be proud of and proud of things we should be embarrassed about.
And I think he's quite right, Sam.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with saying, you know, I was incredibly privileged to have a good upbringing or a good education or whatever. Why should I have to feel bad about it?
And what are you going to do with it? That was the point of it. What are you going to use that privilege to make this world better? I think Seinfeld's one of the smartest. I mean, most comedians are generally highly intelligent and capable of observing the world and, you know, making fun of it. But I think he's one of the most insightful people going around. What a great opportunity to sit there and hear him speak. But no, they wanted to get their 2 minutes of fame and,
of course.
shout their slogans and storm out. What a waste.
But it's almost like you're told, oh, well, you know, you should feel bad because you had more than someone else, Joe. I mean, OK, sure, some of us have had more than other people and there are other people above us who've had more than we have had. What is wrong with admitting that, yeah, I've actually had it pretty good, good for me, but I'm going to use it? I mean, you know, you graduate from Duke University or whatever university you went to, you're 5 steps ahead of a lot of other people, but that's not a bad thing. There's no shame
very good things with
in
it.
success.
And even if you just want to kick around by the pool, as long as you're not harming anyone, that's fine. No, I think talking about privilege or overprivilege or inequality or whatever is actually really, really unhelpful. I like to talk about disadvantage. And so the most important thing, I think, is ending disadvantage and making sure that people are not in poverty and people who are in poverty are elevated through education in particular, employment and health. But really, you know, education and employment is the key to unlocking that. Everybody knows that.
Well, it's the equality of opportunity.
Yeah. That's right. So you have the equality of opportunity.
Chance that everyone gets.
My point being, you will often hear, ironically, incredibly overprivileged people. They're always university students, so you have to be among the most privileged, and they're usually at the most elite universities as well. It seems the richer you are, and the nicer a university you go to, the more likely you are to be a socialist.
Correct.
I went to Melbourne Uni, by the way, a proper one. But they talk a lot about inequality, and they will tell you that, you know, the world today is more unequal than it has ever been. Now, that is because you have ultra-billionaires like Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg or whoever who have just a stratospheric amount of money, whatever. It's impossible to even get your head around it. But the world is also a far less disadvantaged place than it has ever been. We have hundreds and hundreds of millions of people who have come from poverty thanks to industrialisation, thanks to economic growth, whereas even just a few decades ago,
running water, sanitation,
running water, and you know, you look at the story. You look at the story in India. You look at the story even in China. Look at the story in Africa. You know, capitalism has actually elevated huge numbers of people out of poverty.
On the back away your car.
I know.
We should be harnessing capitalism, and we should be using that.
And on the back of our coal, a lot of this stuff.
And a lot of it is on fossil fuels.